On this episode of Bears Talk, we have a very special Chicago Bears mock draft. Of course, we have to do it. Free agency, the first wave of free agency is over, and now it's time to take a look at the Bears roster as it begins to crystallize and what the 2023 NFL draft could do by way of the first, second, and third round. That's right, a 3-round mock draft coming your way, Bears fans. Let's have some Bears talk.
We're going to be an effort-based team.
Darnell being Darnell.
Love playing football.
Ready to open this thing up. Let them know that we're coming.
Before we get into the mock draft, Bears talkers, you know what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the nearly 2,500 Chicago Bears fans who have already done that. They've already subscribed to this channel, one that's becoming the fastest growing Chicago Bears YouTube channel out there. Join the movement, jump on board. And if you do, you could possibly get yourself in the mix for a very special giveaway, a token of our appreciation. We are going to be giving away a DJ Moore Chicago Bears jersey to one very lucky Bears talker who follows the instructions in the description below. You just have to click a link. It'll bring you to my Twitter account that breaks it all down for you in terms of how to qualify. One of you will win a DJ Moore Chicago Bears jersey. And I'm a little spoiler here. One of the requirements to enter the giveaway is to hit that subscribe button. So make sure you do that. And now that all that's out of the way, Bears fans, let's hit that mock draft. Before we dive into the Chicago Bears first round pick, of course, we have to take a look at what has happened so far in free agency. The Chicago Bears have been one of the busiest teams in the NFL, but it's been at positions that none of us really would have expected. 2 linebackers, a guard, not exactly spots that Bears fans were expecting general manager Ryan Poles to target right out of the gate in free agency. All very good players. Tremaine Edmonds, a rising superstar. TJ Edwards, one of the top linebackers in the NFL. Nate Davis, one of the most underrated guards. All upgrades, all improvements, all players who are going to start and play at a high level in 2023, but not the right tackle, not the premium edge rusher, not guys that Bears fans expected would be like top dollar, big ticket, high-priced free agent additions. Ryan Poles isn't going after those guys, and he's kind of left a lot of breadcrumbs in free agency in terms of what's going to happen in the NFL draft. So I feel like it's pretty easy to predict what's going to happen in the first round. At number 9 overall, it's not hard. The biggest void right now on the Chicago Bears is essentially at 2 spots, right tackle and pass rusher. You could argue 3 technique as well. If Jalen Carter slides to number 9, the Bears, if they do their homework and they feel good about him and his maturity and his profile moving forward, it's going to be really hard to pass him up. But with what we know right now, and for this mock draft, with the 9th pick overall in the 2023 NFL draft, the Chicago Bears select Ohio State offensive tackle Paris Johnson. This to me is a no-brainer, Bears fans. I know a lot of you out there are probably wondering, why not Peter Skoronski? Why not the hometown kid? He's profiles kind of as a right tackle, if not a very high-end interior player at guard. But for me, if you're spending a top 10 pick on an offensive tackle, that guy better check the boxes from a physical makeup standpoint. A right tackle, left tackle, doesn't matter what side of the line you're playing on. If your arms are as short as Peter Skoronski's, the chances are you're going to struggle on the edge, and your best chance for success will be as an interior player. The Bears are not going to spend the number 9 pick on a guy who could end up being a right or left guard or even a center long, 3, 4, 5 years into their career. Skoronski, unfortunately, has a lot of scouts. A lot of people I've spoken to think he's going to be an interior offensive lineman. That's why it's Paris Johnson or bust for the Bears right now at number 9. He has everything you look for from an offensive tackle, from the physical makeup, length, above average athlete, played at a high level at Ohio State. He also has positional versatility. He played left tackle. He played right guard. He could play on the right side or the left side. And you know what? If he's better than Braxton Jones will have to move over to the right side and let the first round left tackle man that position for the next 8 to 10 years, assuming he hits. Paris Johnson is a no-brainer. He's the reason why the Chicago Bears didn't overspend on Mike McGlinchey. He's the reason why Orlando Brown wasn't a target, aside from obviously the scheme not being a perfect fit for Orlando Brown. And great. So they didn't want to go after him. But what about Jawan Taylor? What about Caleb McGarry? What about Mike McGlinchey? Why didn't the Bears go all in and pay as the top premium price tag for any one of these guys? Because they know at number 9, they're going to land a really good offensive tackle. And Paris Johnson, in my opinion, is at the top of the class. And the Chicago Bears at number 9 are sitting there with the ability to take the top tackle in the 2023 draft. It's highly unlikely that any of these guys will be off the board in the top 8 picks, which makes the trade back from number 1 for Ryan Poles even smarter, because he probably saw how the board was going to break down, knowing that if he slides back to 9, he is now sitting atop the offensive lineman part of the draft. He's going to have the control of that draft board. He doesn't care about controlling the quarterbacks, maybe not even caring about the Will Andersons of the world or the cornerbacks, some of these other positions that will go ahead of that. He wants control of the offensive lineman in this year's draft. And at number 9, he will call the shots there. Paris Johnson, number 9 overall, barring any late last-minute signing here of a veteran journeyman who profiles as a possible starter at right tackle. You can write this in pen, Bears fans. Bookmark this video. Come back to it on April 28th after the first round pick is in the books. It's going to be a right tackle, and it's going to be Paris Johnson Jr. Let's jump to the second round, where the Chicago Bears address another gaping hole on the roster right now, the 3-technique defensive lineman. And they do it with arguably the biggest and fastest riser right now in the 2023 NFL draft. They didn't go to Northwestern for Peter Skoronski. They went for his teammate, Tommy Adebaware, the defensive lineman who has essentially demolished everything we thought we knew about the athleticism from a 280-plus pound defensive lineman. He was the biggest winner at the Senior Bowl. He was the biggest winner at the NFL Combine. And now he's one of the biggest risers in the draft. There's a chance that the Chicago Bears won't even have an opportunity to draft him with their first of 2 second-round picks. He could go in the top 32. He could be a first-round pick. And if he isn't a first-rounder, he could be one of those guys who teams are looking to trade up for at the top of round 2. The Bears might not pick high enough for him. If they have their heart set on him, they might have to, bundle a couple of picks together to slide up a few spots in round 2 to get him. But in this mock draft, the way it fell, and I used the Pro Football Focus mock draft simulator to conduct this mock draft, Tommy Adebaware was on the board when the Bears were picking, and it was a no-brainer. The Chicago Bears did not sign Javon Hargrave. The Chicago Bears did not sign Draymond Jones. Sure, they signed DeMarcus Walker. Yeah, they added Andrew Billings, but neither one of those guys profiles as the true 3 technique that Matt Eberflus really needs for his defense to hit its full and absolute capacity. Tommy Adebaware is that guy. 280 pounds, moves like the power and force of elite edge rusher level stuff, but yet he has the squatty body type, the anchor, the thick lower half to be able to hold up against the run, to play against power, to be an equally effective force player against the run and disruptive interior pass rusher. His stats in college don't blow you away. Nine tackles for loss, 5 sacks in 2022. It makes you ask yourself, is he more athlete than football player? Sometimes that can happen with guys who explode at the combine and explode at all-star games. You question whether or not they are at that level when the game is actually going, when the bullets are flying. Are they that level of football player, or are they just a really good athlete? I had the opportunity to sit next to one of Adebaware's positional coaches on the flight back from the Senior Bowl, and I asked him about him because he was such an obvious flash at the Senior Bowl, a guy who stood out amongst his peers. And his coach told me, look, this guy's just starting to scratch the surface. Not only is he an A++ character guy, but he raved about his work ethic, what his practice habits were like, and that he's just still growing as a player. And that's the kind of guy you want to land in the second round. If the Bears can get lucky, if lightning can strike and the Bears can grab Adebawore in round 2 to groom and develop as their 3-tech, not only in 2023, even for many, many years after that, that would be a home run pick. That's almost like a first-round value in the second round. So if the Bears can somehow pull out Paris Johnson Jr. at number 9 and Tommy Adebawore with their second-round pick, number 53 overall, it will be an absolute home run start to the 2023 draft. And I think I could deserve an A+ for this mock draft so far. Put a comment in the video set below. Make sure you let me know what you think. First 2 picks in the books. We got Paris Johnson. We got Tommy Adebawore. GM of the year. I think I'm a candidate for GM of the year right now. That's a home run. Bears fans, you know you want a right tackle and a 3-tech. Boom. We got it done in the first 2 picks. Let's get to the second pick of the second round. With their second round pick, number 61 overall, the selection the Chicago Bears got from the Carolina Panthers in the huge trade out of the number 1 pick, they select Ohio State center Luke Wypler. First of all, I love this for a couple of reasons. Number 1, the center position in Chicago is still in flux. Cody Whitehair is the expected veteran who's going to slide over to the middle. Nate Davis, Tevin Jenkins at guard. You put Whitehair in the middle. That's great. Whitehair should be fine. He should have no problems converting back to center. He played the position earlier in his career. He played at a pretty high level, despite obvious concerns snapping the ball. I think he'll get over that, and he'll be fine at center. But is he really the long-term answer, especially when you have a young left guard, a young right guard, a second-year left tackle, and according to this mock draft, a rookie right tackle? It'd be awesome if you could add like the cherry on top and get a young rookie center to maybe start his career as a developmental guy learning behind Cody Whitehair, and then eventually, maybe even in the second half of this season, take over the starting gig. Luke Wypler is that kind of guy. He started the last 2 seasons at Ohio State. He was one of the top performers on their offensive line. He'll come into the league with Paris Johnson Jr., 2 college teammates. That matters. Look what Ryan Poles did in free agency this year. He added 2 Tennessee Titans. He added 3 Carolina Panthers. Having guys enter a locker room with some familiar faces helps a transition. It helps pros who go from one team to another. It helps rookies who go from the college to the pros. And if you have 2 guys who have worked together in the same offensive line room over the last 2 seasons, entering the Chicago Bears as teammates right off the bat, I mean, you'd hope they had a good relationship at Ohio State. And now when they bring that to the next level, you have Justin Fields, his eventual center, is another Ohio State Buckeye. His eventual right or even left tackle is an Ohio State Buckeye. That matters. These guys will have that camaraderie. They'll build that tremendous relationship between the quarterback and the offensive line. 2/5 of the offensive line will be Ohio State guys, young Ohio State guys. And look, Wypler's got long-term ability. He's an athlete. He's a very athletic center. He profiles as a perfect fit for what Luke Getsy's system requires from his offensive lineman. He profiles as the kind of offensive lineman that Ryan Poles is going to like. He's lean. He's athletic. He can move. He can get to the second level. He's not going to overwhelm guys with power, but he's more of a finesse space player, and that's going to work wonders in an offense like Getsy's. Circle the name, Bears fans. Luke Wypler, especially if the Bears draft Paris Johnson in the first round. They're going to want to give him a familiar face in the locker room in their rookie season. And when center it's a position of need. The Bears need a center. Luke Wypler makes a lot of sense. Again, this is a home run right now. Paris Johnson, Tommy Adebawore, Luke Wypler in the first 3 picks of this mock draft. You could tie this book up. You could put it away in the bookshelf. If that's the only 3 players the Bears pick in the 2023 draft, it's an A+. But we are not done yet. We have another selection coming up here in the 3rd round, and I think you're going to like it. In the 3rd round, and with the final pick of this mock draft, the Chicago Bears get the edge rusher they so desperately need in Auburn's Derek Hall. I can't believe we're even at this point right now with Derek Hall in the draft process. When I was studying his tape in advance of the 2023 Senior Bowl, he looked like a guy to me that could be a first-round pick. And here we are in these mock draft simulations. You look at all the big boards, the rankings across NFL draft media, and he is a fringe 2nd/3rd round pick. And with the Chicago Bears selecting at the top of the third round, even bottom of the second round, even if you want to take Luke Whippler, flip him to this pick and take Derek Hall and push him up to 61, they're only 4 picks apart. So getting Derek Hall at this selection, let me tell you something, Bears fans. Derek Hall could start for the Bears in 2023. He's that talented of an athlete. He's that explosive of an edge rusher. He's got that kind of sack potential and pass rushing upside. Sure, he only had 6.5 sacks in 2022, but he had 9 sacks in 2021. 15.5 sacks over the last 2 seasons in the SEC is not too shabby. And when you watch his athletic profile, his burst, his get off on the edge at the snap, plus the power and violence that he has in his hands and the kind of force he creates on contact, Derek Hall is a name to monitor as the Bears are in the second and early part of the third round, because in free agency, with the exception of DeMarcus Walker, the Bears have done nothing at the time of recording this video. They've done nothing to enhance the pass rush for a team that finished last in sacks in 2022. That sounds to me like a huge clue that they're going to address that issue in the draft. There's no chance, there's no way, 0% that Ryan Poles is going to go into the 2023 season with the same group of edge rushers and pass rushers that he had last year that were unable to generate any pressure or sacks over 17 games. You can't repeat that. That is insanity. You're repeating something, expecting a different result, and it's not going to be. The Bears just don't have the talent to get after the quarterback with this group that they have. But if you bring Derek Hall into the mix, he levels up that edge rusher room's athleticism, the intensity, and just the skill set. The raw ability and skills as a pass rusher that Derek Hall has are better than anybody else on the Bears right now. There's nobody else, no veteran on the roster who would profile as a pass rusher who has more sack potential than a Derek Hall as a rookie would bring to the Chicago Bears in 2023. There you have it, Chicago Bears fans. We just went through 3 rounds. We added 4 players, all of whom, if they don't start right away in 2023, would probably be starting by mid or late season. You're going to have a first-round offensive tackle, Paris Johnson Jr., plug and play, put him in the lineup starter, whether it's left tackle or right tackle. The Bears end up with their 2 starting tackles by the time the 9th pick is handed in. You circle back to the top of the second round at number 53 overall. The Bears addressed their 3-tech in Tommy Adebawore, an instant plug-and-play starter, extremely violent, athletic, powerful, full of juice athlete who could potentially be the most enticing and exciting 3-tech that the Bears have fielded since the days of Tommy Harris. You stay in the second round at pick number 61, the pick the Bears got from the Panthers, and they get their center of the future in Ohio State's Luke Whippler. You have a pair of Buckeyes offensive linemen coming to support the former Buckeye quarterback. I don't think you could write a better story than that. And then in the third round at number 65 overall, the Chicago Bears get the edge rusher they desperately need in Derek Hall. You tell me, did I do a good job, Bears fans? Put a review in the description. Give me a grade. I'm not sensitive. I can handle it. I'm a big boy. I will handle any grade you give. Give me an A+ or give me a D- or even fail me. I want to know who you would take. Give me your 3-round mock draft. Put it in the comments below. But most importantly, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell so you know every time we put up a new video. And make sure you click the link in the description to find out how you can win a DJ Moore jersey as part of our thank you to the Bears Talker universe. We're going to be announcing a winner on Twitter by Sunday. Sometime before Sunday, the winner will be announced. So make sure you get in it to win it. And obviously keep coming back for more Bears Talk.